Size Andrew Onespot Ata. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew Onespot. I'm with Chief Whitney's office, and today is an exciting day, one that we have been working towards for a very long time. So many people have been involved in the effort to ensure that all families in Tsuut'ina have access to broadband. I would probably miss a lot of people if I tried to name everyone involved since conception of the project. But we are very pleased to have several officials from the provincial and federal governments here with us today. I'd like to welcome Minister Glubish and MP George Chahal, and of course, Chief Roy Whitney. We look forward to hearing from all of you today. And first, I would like to call up to the microphone MP George Chahal, Member of Parliament for Calgary Skyview, to the podium, please.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to join you today on behalf of the Honourable Goody Hutchings, Canada's Minister of Rural Economic Development, to make an important announcement about bringing high-speed internet access to rural and remote communities in Alberta. Before we begin, I would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory on which we gather on, the ancestral homelands of the Nitsappi and the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta. It's also great to be here with the Honourable Nate Glubish, Minister of Service Alberta, and also thank you, Chief Roy Whitney of the Tsuut'ina Nation, for hosting us here today. We all know that access to high-quality, high-speed internet is essential in our increasingly digital and online world. And the government understands the unique realities and challenges faced by Canadians living in rural and remote communities. That's why we are working diligently to deliver high-speed internet services across Canada, with a keen focus on these wonderful communities. For many here in the Tsuut'ina Nation, not having access to reliable internet has made the impact of this pandemic even more difficult than in other areas in our country. As public health safety measures have encouraged more people to go online for healthcare work, essential services, and social connections, many rural Albertans have faced significant barriers. This is what prompted our government to launch the Universal Broadband Fund in 2020. This now $3.25 billion investment will help connect every Canadian to high-speed internet by 2030. In fact, on Tuesday, the Prime Minister announced an additional $475 million to help us reach our goal of connecting every Canadian by 2030 faster. In addition, in March, with funding from the Universal Broadband Fund, the Government of Canada and the Government of Alberta announced a partnership of up to $780 million to work towards eliminating the digital divide and connecting 100% of Albertans. We're here today to announce a project funded under that agreement. I am pleased to announce that the Government of Canada, in partnership with our provincial counterparts, are announcing an investment of over $2.6 million for a project to provide the Tsuut'ina First Nation with high-speed internet access. This new project will be completed by the Tsuut'ina Nation's own internet service provider, benefiting over 300 households in their community. This investment will help ensure that this community is no longer limited to accessing the services they need because of a lack of internet connectivity. Residents will be able to access essential services like healthcare and education, participate in the digital economy, and simply connect with loved ones. To date, the Government of Canada's investments have led to 93.5% of Canadian households having access or are targeted to receive access through federal commitments. Now, today's investment is another important step towards our government's plan to provide high-speed internet access to 98% of Canadians by 2026 and all Canadians by 2030. In Alberta alone, since 2015, the Government of Canada has already announced more than $463 million in connectivity projects in this province. Today's announcement builds on our efforts to make sure that every Canadian has access to this critical service. Thank you to everyone involved in this very important project. We're so pleased to be working with the Government of Alberta and the Tsuut'ina First Nation to bring reliable, high-speed internet service to rural Albertans. Together, we are extending robust, affordable internet service to underserved homes throughout Alberta and to all Canadians. Thank you.
Siaskas, Mr. Chahal. Next, I am very pleased to welcome the Honorable Nate Glubish to the stage. Minister Glubish is Alberta's Minister of Technology and Innovation. Please come to the stage, Minister.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here at this beautiful venue here in Tsuut'ina Nation. Thank you, Chief Whitney, for having us and hosting us and for your hospitality. And thank you, MP Chahal, for your words to kick off this exciting announcement and this collaboration between the Government of Canada, the Government of Alberta, and Tsuut'ina Nation. And so good morning, everyone. Again, Nate Glubish, Minister of Technology and Innovation for the Alberta Government. And I would also just like to take a moment out of respect to acknowledge that we are gathered today with Tsuut'ina Nation here at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on Treaty 7 land. And today is an exciting day. I join MP Chahal in thanking Chief Roy Whitney for being here with us, for hosting us, and for participating in this announcement. This is a significant part, this resort and casino is a significant part of Tsuut'ina and Calgary communities and has been since it opened its doors in 2007. And in addition to creating jobs and building the community, many people may not also realize that some of the proceeds from this casino support programs and services in Tsuut'ina Nation that range from education and adult learning to housing and infrastructure. This has been transformative for the community, building momentum that will continue well into the future. And today's announcement also delivers on a promise for a brighter future. It is the first out of more than 50 communities that will benefit from the initial $70 million round of universal broadband funding announced this September which again is a collaboration of 50-50 matching funding from the Government of Canada and the Government of Alberta. And this project here for Tsuut'ina Nation represents a $2.6 million investment by both the federal and provincial governments that will improve access to high-speed internet and open so many doors for everyone in this community. And the Tsuut'ina Nation is also investing $300,000 and will ultimately be the service provider for this community. This is a wonderful partnership between all levels of government. This investment is going to create new opportunities, new business opportunities. It will open up new markets to residents and businesses in Tsuut'ina Nation, and it will open up new technologies that will now only be just a few clicks away. Better connectivity will support the growth of local businesses while attracting investment that can help Tsuut'ina Nation thrive for decades to come. But the benefits of broadband are not just limited to economics. High-speed internet can bring an elder closer to their grandchildren. It can bring residents in the nation closer to healthcare providers. And it can bring everyone in that community closer to one another. It can introduce exciting new ways to preserve knowledge, tradition, and history, and to help raise the profile of proud Tsuut'ina culture across the province and the country, and yes, even the globe. It will give children and youth access to the tools they need to realize on their dreams, to fulfill their destiny, to reach their fullest potential. And in every sense, access to high-speed, reliable internet introduces new opportunities that make today better and tomorrow brighter. And that is why Alberta's government is committed to bringing the power of connectivity to every corner of our great province by the end of 2027, which is represented by the Alberta Broadband strategy we released earlier this year. We know that a community like Tsuut'ina Nation has such a low level of access to high-speed internet today. And the few residents who can access it have issues with low data caps and poor connectivity that renders the service almost unusable. And so that is why it is so important that we work together with our Indigenous partners, like Tsuut'ina Nation, to tackle this important problem and to bring connectivity to their home. And that is why today's investment is such an important first step in improving connectivity in this region and a meaningful step on a path towards reconciliation. So I am so excited that as we announce the first number of projects that the Government of Canada and the Government of Alberta are tackling together through our funding partnership, I couldn't be happier that the first major announcement we are making is here on Tsuut'ina Nation. This is so exciting, and it is just the beginning. My ministry is working with the federal government to select more Alberta-based projects for funding, including other First Nations communities and Métis settlements. And we look forward to supporting so many more communities, businesses, and families like those here in Tsuut'ina Nation very, very soon. As more aspects of our daily lives move into the digital space, access to reliable high-speed internet is only becoming more and more important. This $2.6 million investment is a great step towards an exciting new chapter in our province's future. Thank you again, Chief Whitney, for joining us for today's announcement. And with that, I would love to invite Chief Whitney to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Tsuut'ina Nation. Good morning, and I'd like to welcome you to the Tsuut'ina Nation. We are the keepers of the land in our traditional territory, and we are a part of Treaty 7. But the land is owned and looked after by Tsuut'ina. I really appreciate Minister our MP from Ottawa, Calgary area. It's an honor and it's a privilege to have both of you here with me today and the nation. And before I go any farther, I'd like to, thank Mark. He led this whole initiative right from the start, and I'm sure there were days where he was ready to pull out his hair, but he stuck to it, and he brought us into the new age of communication. I just simply want to talk a little bit about, before I go into this, is Remembrance Day. And tomorrow will be honoring the veterans of World War I and World War II and other wars that may have been affected where Canadians were involved. For our community, we had 6 veterans, and 2 are still amongst us. So when we had our ceremony this morning, because people had other activities tomorrow to celebrate Remembrance Day in the city of Calgary and at a museum that's just off of Crowchild Trail. So I just wanted to recognize our veterans, and we also announced this morning that we are now in the process of developing and building our own Veterans Monument, where our people can come together at any point in the year and show appreciation to the veterans that assisted us in our community to keep us safe and enjoy the life we have right now. I really appreciate the work that has been done and the support that's been provided by the federal government and the provincial government. When we had COVID in our community, many of our students had no access to internet, which affected their schoolwork, their studies. So having this now will assist us in moving forward. Primarily, part of the reason would be for our students, but the other part of the reason would be for communication and the ability to access the world. And if they have a business or they're going into a business, to be able to market that business so that they have something that they can obtain and moving forward. And we do have some entrepreneurs, and right now we have one nation member who's in Egypt on the Morton with the UN delegation, and he was invited over there to participate in that meeting where the world is coming together. I'm sure our neighbors in Calgary would be surprised to learn that there are such gaps in service right now to communities right next door to them, and especially from the school system in Calgary, where our children may have gone to obtain the ability to maintain their studies, to keep up with the colleagues that they have in their schools in the city of Calgary. The key to overcoming those gaps is infrastructure and the proper role of government to step in and providing funding to make the infrastructure possible. The funding will now allow the construction of 7 more towers within our community. This is transformative, and it's overdue, long overdue. And I'm very humbled that, Minister, you could join us. Mr. Shahal, you are as well here. And both of you are welcome back at any time. And we get that first, once the tower's up and we get that first ability to send out a worldwide message, we'll invite you back so that you can be here to enjoy that. And Mark, again, thank you. You did an awesome job. And JR, thank you for today.
Excellent. Thank you again to our representatives from the province, from federal government, and of course to Hakajet Chief Roy Whitney. And to the media who came to cover this exciting news. This is going to change the way a lot of people on the nation work, interact, and just live. It's going to fill a lot of gaps for our students especially. And to all the people who have worked so hard over the years to make this all happen and to make this build out possible. CS Gus, thank you. And in a few minutes, Melissa Crane is going to come up here to take some questions from the media. And before I close this out, I would like to ask all three of our speakers to come back up for a group photo. And before I sign off, I just want to encourage everybody here to go next door and donate. No, I'm kidding. Please, if I can have you all up here for a photo. And thank you so much for having me here. It's been an honor to introduce these fine gentlemen, and I'm looking very forward to what the future holds for Tsuut'ina Nation. Thank you. I think in front of the backdrop and maybe.
Okay. You want us to stand in front?
What if we move?
Or we can take this off and hold this.
We could move the podium, right?
Here. Ah. There we go. Press Secretary Melissa Crane, everyone.
Hi, good morning. That concludes the formal part of our program. We do have one caller on the line before we head to the meteor scrum. So operator, can you please put that caller through?
No one is queued for a question at this time.
Thank you, operator. I think we can head to our media scrum now. So if everyone would like to gather with the media, that concludes our event for the day. Thank you.